15 years. Here's why they are the top choice. They will enhance your home buyer's home experience by offering custom home design appointments, and your budget stays intact while they deliver top quality services. Builders, send your plans over today to bid. Tyson Sound & Security, security and home automation experts.
When you wake up well-rested on a great mattress, everything becomes clear.
I do have a favorite child.
Things you missed when you were tired finally reveal themselves.
My life coach has a terrible life.
Find your mattress at the Actually Really Seriously Best Sale of the Year for real at Mattress Firm. Save up to $700 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets, plus a $300 gift toward pillows and more. With fast, free delivery, the right mattress matters. We'll find yours. Restrictions apply. See store or mattressfirm.com for details.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. He's Hacker.
So much so that I had to ask around. I'm like, hey, I'm kind of a nice guy, right?
Hacker is an ass.
I try, as I'm getting into my old age at 39 years old, try not to let things bother me. Just know that I'm ultra soft.
And he doesn't shy away from opinions.
See Baker Mayfield throw 4 passes, but I get to see this homeless guy return a ball for a touchdown.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Monday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you on a victorious Monday evening in Duval County. The Jaguars over the Indianapolis Colts yesterday. It has been a fun day to talk Jaguar football, to think about times that have gone by and how different things are now, quite frankly, and that's certainly something that I want to hop into, review the game from yesterday. And look, all eyes begin pointing to an enormous game on Sunday here in Jacksonville against the Kansas City Chiefs. As I told Rick, something to think about. If Jacksonville wins on Sunday against Kansas City, they would essentially have a 3-game lead on the Chiefs, if you include the tiebreaker. But a Chiefs win on Sunday, and the Chiefs would have a 1-game lead on Jacksonville, if you include the tiebreaker. That's a crazy swing, and we'll certainly talk about that as we get further along this week leading up to Sunday. We are absolutely loaded. It's football season. I can just save that on tape and repeat it every night here on Hacker After Dark. Coming up in about 20 minutes, actually about 15 minutes or so, my man Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated will stop by. I talked to a lot of national guys, a lot of national NFL guys. Matt Verderam is one of my favorites. That guy doesn't sugarcoat anything. He tells you what he thinks. He does a great job for Sports Illustrated and the Monday Morning Quarterback Podcast, and he will join us coming up in about 15 minutes to review Week 1 and take a brief look ahead to Jacksonville and Kansas City. And we will do a little Monday night coaching with Campo. Our head coach here on Hacker After Dark is Dave Campo, former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And Dave Campo will join us at the top of the 9 o'clock hour. So we're absolutely loaded. We're glad you're with us on a Monday. We'll keep you updated on Monday Night Football as well. Week 1 closing out tonight with the debut of Aaron Rodgers. It should be a good one in the AFC East between the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. But every night here on Hacker After Dark, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night and Dylan Denmark. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal? What is the big deal?
No big deal. It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
Yesterday in Indianapolis, the Jacksonville Jaguars did not play their best game. Far from it, actually. A lot went wrong. They had turnovers. They had penalties. They had a bizarre play where Lawrence fumbled. Bigsby picked it up. The whistle was never blown. He fumbles. Indianapolis scores a defensive touchdown. I mean, just crazy things went on yesterday. Things that in the past would have cost the Jaguars a football game. But it didn't this year. The Jaguars won a game on a day where they were far from their best. They won a game in Indianapolis, a place they haven't won since 2017. They won a division game on the road on opening day, on a day where seven favorites yesterday lost in week one of the National Football League. Yesterday was a great day for the Jaguars. It was a great win. It was a great way to start the year. The amazing thing is, and I'm not going to throw stones in a glass house, I was guilty of this as well, a lot of griping and complaining during the game. As we mentioned, the Jaguars last year on December 4th, not that long ago, were 4-8 and going nowhere. And in less than 9 months, or I guess a little over 9 months, now we're complaining about a 10-point win on the road, a place the Jaguars hadn't won since 2017. Oh, how expectations bring expectations, which is where we are now with the Jacksonville Jaguars in the 2023 NFL season. But yesterday's performance was good. Trevor Lawrence was good. Calvin Ridley was nothing short of dynamic in the first half. Zay Jones, fantastic. Evan Ingram, fantastic. Travis Etienne, very good. But what did we talk about for the entirety of the offseason, the last 5 or 6 months? There's only one football, right? There's only one football. Some days are not going to be your day, and yesterday was not Christian Kirk's day. Now, why is that? Well, if you watch the tape, the All-22, if you listen to people, Indianapolis was doing some things to take the middle of the field away, which is Christian Kirk's domain. They then did some things to take Calvin Ridley away in the second half to an extent. But when you do that, guess what? You leave it open for Evan Ingram and Zay Jones. And those guys were feasting from the second quarter on. When you play the Jacksonville Jaguars this year, you can't cover everybody. You just can't. The way you beat the Jaguars is you get to Trevor Lawrence. That's your answer. I mean, yeah, does it help to have good corners? Sure, but I don't care how good your DBs are and your linebackers are. When the Jaguars go out there with Etienne, Ingram, Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, and Calvin Ridley, you simply cannot cover all those guys that many times. They're going to make plays on you. You got to get to Trevor, which it comes down again to the offensive line. Yesterday, the offensive line I didn't feel was great. I thought they were average, maybe slightly above average. They got to figure out short yardage. That's a problem. You got to figure that out. You got to figure out penalties. Walker Little with a hold, a couple other things happened. But far be it for me to gripe about very much today. I did that yesterday. I got it out of my system. At the end of the day, no matter the penalties, no matter the short yardage problems, everything that transpired, all the frustration we had when the Jaguars were losing 21-17 with 6 minutes to go in that football game yesterday, all of it washes away when you win a division game on the road opening day in the National Football League. It was a great day for the Jaguars. Did they live up to the expectation that we had? I mean, a lot of people thought it was going to be an easy game. No, they didn't live up to that. But they got the W. They're 1-0. They're in first place in their division. And you can't be any better than that 1 week into the year. A couple of Doug Peterson thoughts from earlier today. He met the media. Talked a lot about Kansas City. We'll get to more of that on Wednesday. I do think this Chiefs game is just enormous. For a week 2 football game, if you can go in one direction to be 3 games up when you talk about seeding, potentially playing a playoff game at Arrowhead as opposed to Jacksonville, You could be 3 up with a win, 1 back with a loss. That's huge, man. Huge. We'll get more into that as the week goes on. Back to Zay Jones for a moment. We talk so much about Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram, and with good reason, great players. Do we talk enough about Zay Jones? The guy had 80 catches last year, over 800 yards, was a very good player. And yesterday, other than Ridley, was the most impactful guy on the Jaguar offense when it comes to wide receivers and tight ends. Doug Peterson earlier today talked about the chemistry that Trevor Lawrence has with wide receiver Zay Jones.
The reason he's so reliable, number one, the quarterback trusts him. He knows where he's going to be. They spent now, going on 2 years together. Zay is a tremendously hard worker. He's smart. He's an intellectual guy that just understands ball. And he and Trevor have logged a lot of hours, throwing and catching, off to the side and working on different things. And, there's that trust factor, right, with him.
We didn't even talk about the defense. What was the question coming in about the defense? Could they affect the opposing quarterback? I was very critical. I think a lot of us, right? You were, I was. We were very critical. Why didn't you go out and get Frank Clark? Why didn't you go out and get Leonard Floyd or Yannick Ngakoue or Justin Houston? What are you doing? Well, it's one game. It's one sample. But they got to Anthony Richardson yesterday, officially 4 sacks. They hit him a bunch more. There were about 2 or 3 plays where normal quarterbacks would have been sacked. Normal quarterbacks that aren't 6'5", 240 pounds. Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker had a combined 4 sacks. Now, again, that's a little misleading. I think one of them, Allen pushed Richardson out of bounds like a yard behind the line of scrimmage. But nevertheless, they were credited for 4 quarterback sacks yesterday. And Doug Peterson talked about Allen and Walker's performance.
I was. There was both those guys played extremely hard and physical, which was great. Josh, we mentioned him with the sacks and being disruptive, and it was a good start for both those guys.
All right, Denmark, final thought from Doug Peterson. We talked about week 1. 7 teams yesterday that were favorite in their game ended up losing. You had some bizarre things. Cleveland beat the crap out of Cincinnati. Who saw that coming? Certainly I did, and I had the Bengals winning the Super Bowl. That is not a good look for me 1 week into the year. Tampa Bay goes into Minnesota and wins. We thought the Rams were going to be terrible. They go into Seattle and win. Miami goes all the way out to L.A. and beats the Chargers at SoFi. A lot of bizarre things, a lot of weird finishes, upsets, if you will. But Doug Peterson talked about today, NFL teams are still a work in progress in week 1. That's why it was so good the Jaguars were able to get the win yesterday.
It's still a work in progress, you saw it around the league, I think, with offenses and defenses that, week 1's not going to decide your season at all. How many times have you seen teams jump out 4, 5, 6-0 and then, falter in December and January? And you want to be one of the teams that are going the other direction, want to be going up in December and January. So, yeah, it was good to get the win. But overall, we've got some corrections to make. We got to get better. Communication has to get better, and we'll work on those this week.
Denmark, let me ask you, what were your thoughts on the Jaguars' opening season performance yesterday, the win over in Indianapolis?
I like the win. I do the Jags Today show and took a lot of calls, and it seemed a lot were happy and some were expecting more of a bigger win. And, like I told you a couple weeks ago, it's week 1, and I remember Anthony Richardson didn't play week 2 in the preseason, and there were a lot of people that were scratching their head and saying he needs reps, and I'm sitting here thinking, well, you don't have any idea what you're getting in Anthony Richardson in week 1, and we didn't know what we got. And, I thought the Jags defense did exceptionally well. The offense did good. We're complaining about the offense, and they scored 31 points. You talk about where we've came from the last couple of years, and it was week 1. You're going to have a little bit of clutter, a little bit of rust, and it's week 1. You got the win. It's in division, so it counts. It feels like it's a double win, and move on week 2.
It's the most points the Jaguars have ever scored in Indianapolis, Indiana, right? Whether it's at the RCA Dome back in the day or now at Lucas Oil Field, 31 points. And again, the Jaguar offense, they'll tell you, they didn't perform very well. How many fourth downs did they miss? How many penalties? Called back big plays, the turnovers. There's a lot.
And the defense, I think they only gave up Dempsey told me earlier, it was 3 first downs, in the first half or something
the defense,
wild like that.
I had no problem with the defense. Tyson Campbell made a great interception. Foye Oluokun was doing his thing. Walker and Allen were getting after the quarterback. The defense, to me, was fine. Now, it was against a rookie quarterback. It's a different animal on Sunday when Mahomes and a desperate Kansas City team come in here. But as we've said, man, the defense does not need to be the steel curtain. They do not need to be the 2000, 2001 Ravens. Be average. Be 15th or 16th in every major defensive category. Be middle of the pack. And if you can do that, your offense is going to outscore a lot of people. And that's what happened yesterday. The offense put up 31 points, and the Jaguars are off to a 1-0 start here in 2023. Let's talk about week 1 around the league. Let's certainly focus on what happened with the Jaguars and the Colts. And let's take a brief glimpse ahead to Sunday with the Jaguars and the Chiefs. My man Matt Verderam, Sports Illustrated, and the Monday Morning Quarterback. He's coming up next on a Monday night edition of Hacker After Dark with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Jacksonville, we're glad you're spending part of your Monday evening with us right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
There might be 4 quarters in a dollar, but a football Sunday has 5. After the game, join Hacker and Leon Searcy for the Window World of Northeast Florida 5th quarter from 9 Ball Have, brought to you by Osteen, Volvo, and Volkswagen, and Dr. George Bari and Bari Orthopedics.
The coolers are full at your local Gate gas station, making it easy for you to cruise in and cruise out with little downtime. Ice cold Coronas, Natty Light, Stella Artois, and Michelob Ultra. Don't forget the king of beers, Cold Buds. Gate's got them in the cooler, waiting for you.
If you're looking for exterior solutions that provide you reliability and durability, it's time to call Armor Guard Exteriors. Whether you need seamless gutters or gutter protection, hurricane products, impact windows, glass lanais, or retractable awnings and screens, we've got you covered. Call My Home Team today for your 5-star experience at 904-906-8669.
Armor Guard Exteriors, committed to quality, and that's a promise.
Hey, Matt Hayes here. Expert Automotive is now open at our brand new state-of-the-art facility on St. John's Bluff Road. As always, every repair comes with a lifetime service repair warranty. Come celebrate our grand reopening by getting a free AC inspection, $50 off any repair, $199 brake specials, and free diagnostics all month long. Call 374-3373 or visit us at our new location at 2190 St. John's Bluff Road. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 11, 1918, the Boston Red Sox beat the Chicago Cubs 2-1 at Fenway Park to win their 5th World Series title.
Are you ready for the ultimate happy hour experience? Look no further than Bellwether, downtown's undisputed champion of good times. It's Tuesday through Saturday from 4 to 7 p, with the exception on Friday when happy hour starts at 11 a.m. Rally the team and head over to Bellwether. The vibe is full and the food is unbeatable. Free parking after 6 p on weekdays and all weekend. Bellwether Restaurant, where great food and the best happy hour in town come together for an epic win.
Get Gators play-by-play on 1010XL. Brought to you by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
E.T. here for the Aesthetic Center. Come on, guys. It's time to shed that dad bod and score sculpted abs in just 4 easy treatments of the M-Sculpt Neo with Dr. Rappaport. Each treatment is equal to 20,000 crunches. no downtime, and it's non-invasive. No more hiding under them baggy shirts. Get ready to show off your six-pack like your boy on game day. Call 808-2455 to get started. That's 808-2455. Or book an appointment online at jacksonstadiecenter.com.
Hey Beaches area, great news for your next party. You can now buy Mystic Cornhole Company boards in stock at the Seaside Shops on 4th Avenue in Jacks Beach. Or as always, at mysticcornhole.com.
The YMCA provides after-school care programs for kindergartners through middle school at over 40 sites across the First Coast. Our programs focus on safety, health, social and emotional growth, and academic enhancement. At the Y, your child can build self-reliance, get help with schoolwork, explore new talents, and develop healthy relationships with others, all in a safe, nurturing environment. Plus, financial assistance is available. Learn more at fcymca.org.
Hi, everybody. Mike Dempsey here. Look, I officially broke the news last week that I started Awaken 180 weight loss, and I dropped 9.6 pounds in my first week alone. Well, here's my second week update. After just 2 weeks, I'm now down a total of 16 pounds. I knew the weight would come off quickly, but what I didn't expect was the type of support I would receive from Awaken 180 while doing it. The very support that has helped Awaken 180 revolutionize the weight loss industry for the past 9 years. My coach, Mandy, literally does all the work. She sets out a plan, I follow it, and if I have any questions, she has the answers. And the best part, I'm learning by doing, eating to lose weight. Awaken 180 is the solution for weight loss, and through my experience so far, I can see why. Find your results and then receive free support for life with the Awaken 180 at Home program. Call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Men suffering from ED or PE, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. You'll even get a gift that enhances performance in the bedroom. Call 904-664-8217.
Jaguars football is officially back. Be there for our highly anticipated 2023 home opener Sunday, September 17th, when your AFC South champs take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Kickoff is at 1, so be sure to grab your gear and help us teal out the stands. Lock in your seats now at jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you back at the bank.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line. Now, Campo's Coaching Corner on Hacker After Dark.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. It is a victory Monday evening, and we are glad you are with us. The Jaguars 1-0 on the year after their victory over the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday. They're celebrating today, but they got to get right back to it as a very desperate defending world champion Kansas City Chiefs football team comes in here next Sunday. With that, it's Monday night. That means Monday night coaching with Campo. My friend Dave Campo, you hear him all over the 1010XL airwaves, including right here every Monday night with us on Hacker After Dark. Coach, how we doing?
Well, I'm doing great this morning. After a victory Monday, you can't underestimate the what that feels like.
No, you can't. It's something we haven't experienced all that much up until the latter parts of last season. And Coach, look, we'll dive into the game. You did such a great job breaking it down on the fifth quarter last night. Certainly enjoyed that. Again, Coach is with Leon Searcy and myself every Sunday evening on the fifth quarter. And what we talked about last night still resonates with me this morning. Was it perfect? No, far from it. But at the end of the day, it's a road win in the division on opening day, and that's good all the way around, Coach.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And I think the thing that, those listening to us, the fans, and even us as media guys have to understand that the first ball game is different. You just don't know what to expect, and you have some glitches. You make some mistakes here or there, and that's a normal thing. Look at it this way. There were 15 games in the last, on Thursday and this Sunday. There were 7 favorites that lost.
Wow.
The Bengals, the Vikings, the Bears, the Broncos, the Chargers, Kansas City, the Seahawks. That's half of the picks going into the game lost the game outright. So, that's something that you can't take lightly. This team won, and that is big, and it's tough to win in this league.
That's a great point. I didn't know that, but yeah, there were a lot of upsets, and I thought it was crazy yesterday. The 4 o'clock games, the road team won every one of them. I mean, isn't that nuts? The home team did not win a game in the late session yesterday, so it was a very interesting day all over the National Football League. Coach, let's dive right in. 31-21, the Jaguars over the Colts. Your thoughts on Jaguar quarterback Trevor Lawrence?
Well, I think Trevor is, the one thing that you have with that guy is, which obviously is really, really important with the football team, is that there is no game that you go into, no matter what the score is, what the time is left on the clock, he has the poise and the confidence to finish the game. And that's what he did yesterday. He had an opportunity at the end to make some things happen because of certain things that happened during the game, and he did it. Now, was he perfect yesterday? No. I think the one thing he showed, he could get on the perimeter and throw the touchdown pass to Ridley early. He can make some throws on the move. I think that the one thing that he faced yesterday was with the Colt defense. They do very little on defense, which you think would be an advantage for the quarterback, but in essence, it really isn't, because the one thing about the coordinator over there, he teaches the offense to the defense because they don't do a lot of different things. And so guys have a pretty good idea when certain things happen, they know how to react to it. And I thought he handled himself pretty good yesterday. His percentage was high, 75%. So he's going to improve as the season goes on as well.
A lot of people have the Monday morning quarterback. Well, we got the Monday night coach. It's our Monday night coaching session with Dave Campo here on Hacker After Dark. Coach, you mentioned Calvin Ridley. That connection, Lawrence to Ridley in the first half, was nothing short of dynamic. In the second half, not so much. I believe only one catch out of his 8 came in the second half. Was that the Colts switching up what they did? Was that Ridley maybe showing signs of fatigue from not playing for the last 23 months? What was your assessment on that?
Well, I haven't had a chance yet to look at the 22. I've got the NFL Plus Premium where you can watch the entire operation from the end zone and the field. I haven't had a chance to do that, but I think that they definitely paid a little bit more attention to where he was in the second half, which opened up Ridley, opened up Zay Jones. And I think that that's the great thing about this offense, is that you have an opportunity to spread to a number of different guys. And the other thing is, the one where we got the holding penalty where Little saved Trevor on after he made a mistake.
That was the best penalty the Jaguars committed yesterday, because if Walker Little didn't do that, Trevor was going to be in a lot of trouble.
Exactly. And on that play, he caught about a 25 or 30 yarder. So he was still active in the second half, but I think the way they skewed their defense a little bit, there was a little bit more attention paid to him.
We talk about it not being a perfect performance. Again, it was far from it. Offensively, the big question to me, Coach, coming out of yesterday is short yardage. I mean, it was absurd at times. They cannot gain a yard. Now, obviously, late in the fourth quarter, they converted 4th and 2 on a pass to Zay Jones, and they got it in on the goal line with Bigsby. But prior to that, it was a comedy of errors, quite frankly. And I don't know if they're outthinking themselves. I don't know what exactly the situation is, Coach, but they have got to clean up the short yardage.
Well, they, and I understand Press Taylor now is calling the plays. I didn't even realize that. I know he did it some last year. But I think they outthought themselves after they didn't make the first one. And then they ran some wide run plays and a quick screen and all that stuff. What they did on the goal line at the end of the game with Bigsby and ETN, you got to run the football, and you got to run it effectively. And I think at times their defensive line controlled our offensive line. And I think that was evident during the course of the game. The great thing I thought they did was they stuck with the running game, which you have to do. You can't just abandon the run game, even though it might not be going exactly the way you want it. Now, they've got to get better in short yardage. I think they've got a runner especially in Bigsby, that can be a short yardage runner, but it also depends on the offensive line taking control of the front. And I think Indianapolis has a pretty good front seven, especially the linebackers when they get involved.
Monday Night Coaching with Campo. My friend Dave Campo, former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. He's with us here every Monday on Hacker After Dark. Coach, defensively, look, it was a tough ask. Anthony Richardson being a rookie, but you're not going to face a lot of quarterbacks like him. That big, that fast, that explosive, a lot of the RPO stuff that Indianapolis was doing. It's just rare to see something like that often when you play another NFL team. And I thought the Jaguars, for the most part, did well, and I want to start with Josh Allen. You could argue, Coach, statistically, one of his best games as a Jaguar with 3 quarterback sacks yesterday.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, not only did he have 3 sacks, but he had 10 tackles. You know, you put the two of them together, and then, one time he had another sack possibility, and he couldn't get the guy down. He's so big. So to me, that's the best game I've seen him play. Let me put it that way. And, I haven't been here his entire time, but I've been here for 3 years. So I've seen a lot of games that he's played. So I think that's a plus. It's a contract year for him. I don't know what that means. I guess it means something to these guys, but hopefully that's going to be a trend that keeps going.
And I thought Trayvon Walker, now he got overshadowed because Allen had such a big game. I thought Trayvon Walker had one of his better performances as a Jaguar.
Well, the thing about Trayvon Walker is, he's not going to be, it doesn't look like to me, let me put it this way. It doesn't look like to me that he's going to be the nifty, run around like Parsons or, even the kid from Detroit that went second behind him.
Aiden Hutchinson.
He's going to be an all-day affair. What I mean by that is he's going to bull rush. He's going to come off. He's going to play hard. He's going to stop the run. They were very simple in what they did yesterday with that quarterback. When they do some things where they put him underneath, some on the guard and some of that kind of thing, I think he's even going to be more dynamic. But I'm glad we have the guy because in the grand scheme of things, he is a disruptor on defense, and that's what we need.
Coach, I'm curious. Again, we'll talk mostly Jaguars here, but for the Florida Gator audience, it was Anthony Richardson's first game in the National Football League. You've spent so many years in this league as a coach. What was your overall thought on AR's debut yesterday?
Well, I think, first of all, he was more accurate than I ever thought he was going to be. And that bodes well for him because he has a lot of other tools. You know what I mean? In other words, he can get on the perimeter. He can run, which he's going to learn how to slide, quickly. But I thought he was more accurate. But I think a lot of that was, our defense making the decision that we weren't going to do a whole heck of a lot. We were going to make sure we knew where he was as far as him not making a big play with his legs. And I think when teams start to, feel that they can do a few more things against him, I think he'll slow down a little bit on the accuracy. When it came down to the end of the ball game, he did exactly what everybody thought he was going to do. He missed some passes with a little bit of pressure from us, and he threw the interception.
Couple of more for our head coach, Dave Campo. The Jaguars are 1-0, the only team in the AFC South to win a game on opening day. They're in first place. The home opener is Sunday, Coach, and in comes the defending world champions, the team that ended Jacksonville's season last year, the Kansas City Chiefs. It is a wounded Kansas City team. They're coming off an opening night loss to Detroit. As we're talking right now, I'd be flabbergasted if Travis Kelce did not play. I don't know if he'll be 100%, Coach, but I think you and I are both in agreement that he's going to get out there and see what he can do. Chris Jones, I doubt, even if they come to some sort of agreement over the coming days, he has done nothing in training camp or the preseason. I don't care how good you are. You can't come in and 4 days later be the Chris Jones of old on Sunday. So I think that ship has probably sailed at this point. What's an early thought from you on the Chiefs and the Jaguars?
Well, I don't want to call it desperate because it's not, early in the season. But, there's only been very few teams. We were one of them with the Cowboys when I played that lost the first 2 games and won the Super Bowl. So, they're zeroed in on this ball game. And, it does hurt if they don't have their top players. That's something that, they're going to have to make a decision there on what they do. But at the same time, we've handled them. We played them very well in that playoff game. And there's I don't care who they've got on the field. I'd actually like to see them all there because I think our team is good enough to match up with them, especially our offense against their defense. And to me, that's going to kind of be the way it is all year, although our defense kept us in the football game yesterday. But I think in the overall scheme of things, our offense is going to be able to perform against them. And I'm looking forward to the game. I think it's going to be a tough game. I don't think anybody's going to jump out ahead of the other. And it'll be a great one to see.
Coach, this will be the 3rd time in less than a calendar year that the Chiefs and the Jaguars have played. You combine the fact that Doug Peterson was on Andy Reid's staff, they're close friends. I mean, there's not any secrets, right? I mean, the Chiefs know what the Jaguars are going to do. The Jaguars know what the Chiefs are going to do. It's just who executes better.
Yeah, I would say that's true. I think that if you look at offensively what both teams do, I think that the Kansas City Chiefs probably have more in the bag than we do, because they've been doing this for a while with Mahomes, whereas this is really the 2nd year with Trevor and our ball club. And, you've got a new receiver in Ridley. You got a new tight end with Strange. You got Bigsby new. Your offensive line, there's some new guys in there. So I think that they probably know more about us than we know about them, to be honest with you, because they can do more things. But I'm not concerned with that. I'm more concerned with how we match up. And, that I think we match up okay with them.
Final moments here with our head coach, Dave Campo. It's always Monday Night Coaching with Campo here on Hacker After Dark. Coach, how would you go about – look, it's easier said than done, right? He's the best player in the NFL right now. But if you're game planning Mahomes with the knowledge that you believe Kelsey will be out there in some capacity, I mean, if you're Mike Caldwell this week, how do you go about doing that?
Well, first of all, obviously Mahomes is going to do his thing. And, we have to be aggressive. We've got to fill the lanes on him more than we did Richardson, because what he does is he gets himself open and then throws the ball. He can run, but he's looking to throw down the field. I think the advantage that we have is that they don't have the firepower receiver-wise that they've had in the past, in my opinion. So, if Kelsey plays, you got to pay attention to Kelsey, and whether that means putting a safety on him, putting a couple on him at times, that's going to be a critical part of the whole thing. And you definitely cannot allow their running game to get going, because once the running game gets going, Mahomes is a play action, on the move kind of a quarterback, and that certainly is going to be something that you have to pay attention to.
Yeah, Kelsey absolutely obliterated the Jaguars in that playoff game last year, and hopefully the Jaguars learn something to how to contain him. Again, we'll see how healthy he is on Sunday. Coach, final question. It's interesting. You and I were talking about this last night. The crowd's going to be fired up, the home opener. It's going to be blazing hot, which hopefully will help the Jaguars in some capacity, and it's going to be an incredible environment out there at Everbank Stadium. But the fan base yesterday was almost complaining, and I kind of found it funny, and some of the media was. I'm not going to throw stones in a glass house. I was kind of complaining about the way the team played, and at the end of the day, they won by 10 on the road at a place they hadn't won since 2017. I mean, but that's what happens with expectation, right? I mean, the Jaguars go from 4-8 on Thanksgiving last year to making that run, getting in the playoffs, the entire offseason to think about it, And now you go out there on opening day, and despite winning a game by 10 on the road, people didn't seem to think the Jaguars played very well. It's just crazy how much things have changed.
I don't think anybody's going to score more than 31 points on us. So if we score 31 every week, we're going to win every game, in my opinion. And, you know, that's the most points that the Cowboys in their history have ever scored in Indianapolis. So it kind of makes me laugh, but it doesn't surprise me because expectations are what fans do. You know, if they feel like a team is you know, has a chance to be special, then they expect it every week. And it doesn't happen that way in the NFL. And, you know, for me, I'm just looking for wins, period. Doesn't matter whether it's 1 point, 10 points, whatever. But I think our offense is going to continue to score points, and that's big for me.
The Jaguars and the Chiefs, Sunday at 1 o'clock. You'll hear it right here on 1010XL. And 2 hours after that game goes final, 9-ball heaven, Sports Grill and Billiards on University Boulevard. It'll be Leon Searcy, Dave Campo, and myself for the 5th quarter on 1010XL. Coach, enjoyed it, my friend, and I'll see you out at 9-ball heaven on Sunday evening.
You bet, Hack. And let me just say one more thing. 9-ball heaven is the place to be.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's our brand new home for the 5th quarter, and it is absolutely terrific. The atmosphere last night was awesome. And, Coach, can you imagine what the atmosphere will be in that place on Sunday if the Jaguars knock off Kansas City?
Absolutely. And let me just say one more thing. Get the prime rib sandwich. It's the best I've ever had.
There you go. It's got Coach Campo's endorsement. Thank you, Coach. I'll see you Sunday.
All right, Hack. Talk to you this Sunday. See ya.
This just in on Hacker After Dark.
All right, so Monday Night Football going on between the Jets and the Bills. Again, thank you to head coach Dave Campo for joining us as he does every Monday night. So the Jets and the Bills, it's 3-0 Buffalo, 3 minutes to go in the first quarter, but that is not the story. The story is an injury to Aaron Rodgers. 3-4 plays into his Jets career, tenure, he gets sacked by Leonard Floyd, a guy we had talked about an awful lot here in Jacksonville, who joined Buffalo after winning a Super Bowl with the Rams. And Leonard Floyd, nothing dirty, just bringing Rodgers to the ground. Rodgers' foot got caught in the turf. We know about that turf at MetLife Stadium. Ask DeJuan Smoot about that turf. He got injured there last year with an Achilles. And I'm not saying that. They're saying he's questionable to return with an ankle. What I'm telling you is that watching Rodgers get off the cart, they put him in the blue tent, then brought the cart, and they took the cart back to the locker room. ESPN's freaking out, so they send people to follow the cart. And when Rodgers gets off the cart and walks back into the hallway underneath MetLife Stadium, he was not putting a lot of weight on his leg. And now you have doctors on social media, legit doctors actually, that are not affiliated with the Jets, nor are they at the stadium. They're just simply going off of video. They're saying best case is high ankle. There's been some people throwing out other scenarios which are not good. But can you believe this? I mean, if you're a New York Jet fan, can you believe this? All the talk about Aaron Rodgers and he's going to save the city and the franchise, and he's the guy, and the Super Bowl, hopes and aspirations, and hard knocks, and everything that's come with it. And in 4 plays, he gets rolled up on and gets carted off. Oh, my gosh. We'll keep you updated. Zach Wilson, yes, that Zach Wilson, is in at quarterback for the Jets right now. They trail Buffalo 3-0, 90 seconds to go in quarter number 1. Coming back, we'll go around the National Football League. Big storylines from week 1. It is Hacker After Dark on a Monday night here in Jacksonville, Florida, and we are glad you are with us.
1010XL brings you Bulls Bulldogs football.
Coach Tobin of the Bulls Bulldogs. Trinity Christian comes to Skinner Barco Stadium Friday night, and you can listen live on 1010 a.m.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy classic wings, sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
Wingstop is here, and we're serving up some serious flavor. Classic wings, boneless wings, tenders, chicken sandwich, we have it all. Download the Wingstop app or order online at wingstop.com from the new Wingstop at 96604 Argyle Forest Boulevard.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision and equal opportunity employer.
Racetrack is celebrating professional drivers all September with special offers at your local Pritchard Travel Center. Use your Racetrack Rewards app to earn double points on in-store purchases. Fuel up during Truck Driver Appreciation Week with $4 meal deals, a free Nathan's hot dog, and in-store giveaways. 1010XL will be live at the Pritchard store this Thursday from noon to 3. Stop by and show your CDL to win gift cards worth up to $500. Visit rttruckdrivers.com. Racetrack, whatever gets you going.
Honey, are you using the hot water?
No.
The water's cold again. How can we fix it? Did you just quack like a duck?
Yep. Duck Rooter, your plumbing pros in Northeast Florida. For water heater installation and service, including tankless water heaters, gas, or electric, call for a quote today.
When you're stuck, call a duck. 904-862-6769.
It's your avenue to Athens.
Follow Mandarin's Carson Beck and the Bulldogs all season long on the Bulldog Report.
Brought to you by Travis Cummings and the Bailey Group on 1010XL. How about the Dogs? Post Game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Daddy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards, or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
At Andy's Automotive and Truck Services, they know that your company's fleet is more than just a bunch of cars and trucks. It's your livelihood, your reputation, your pride. So when you need routine fleet maintenance or emergency repairs, Andy's offers after-hours and mobile service to minimize your downtime and keep your fleet running like new. While you care for your employees and customers, rest assured Andy's Automotive will take care of your fleet. Visit the team at andysats.com.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Pella Windows and Doors. These intense summer storms are a good reminder to visit the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Check out Pella's new Hurricane Shield and Defender series. These amazing windows exceed all coastal requirements for storm protection. Seriously, they can withstand the impact of a 2x4 shot out of a cannon at 50 feet per second. You want quality, style, and protection? Visit PellaJacks.com and the showroom on Phillips Highway right next to Tesla. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
Hey sports fans, it's Ace Carline for QC Kinetics, and look, I can't make it any simpler. QC Kinetics can change your life. You can live again without that chronic joint pain and without drugs or surgery. You've got to reach out for a free consultation at 904-274-5522 and make an appointment at one of their branches, Mandarin or Ponte Vedra. QC Kinetics is advanced regenerative medicine. They take your body's own concentrated healing properties and put them right into your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue that's causing all of that horrible pain. The patient satisfaction reports are astonishing. Finally, there is a real alternative to the old ways of dealing with pain. And unlike surgery, there's no downtime with QC treatments. If you have constant pain in your knees, hips, shoulder, or back, you need to call and get a free consultation from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics. 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
All right, the big news in the world of sports tonight, Aaron Rodgers leaving Monday Night Football injured. Mike Garafolo of the NFL Network is reporting that Rodgers is out of the X-ray room. He's headed back to the Jets locker room with a walking boot on. Garafolo goes on to tweet out Rodgers had what appeared to be a walking boot on his left foot as he was taken to the X-ray room. Wow. The biggest move of the offseason was the Jets acquiring Aaron Rodgers, and he played 4 plays. Leonard Floyd of the Buffalo Bills got around the edge and sacked Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers went down, could not put a lot of weight on that foot, was carted to the locker room, and Zach Wilson is in. I'll tell you this. If HBO is halfway down I-95 right now, they need to turn back. Ladies and gentlemen, we need another edition of Hard Knocks. Are you kidding me? If Aaron Rodgers is out for any period of time, there's already a Denmark, what are they, GIFs, the videos?
Yeah, GIFs.
GIFs, all right, GIFs.
One of the two.
There's already a GIF/GIF of Robert Saleh, the Jets head coach, with just the look of pain and anguish on his face.
Yeah, ESPN zoomed in immediately after the injury.
I mean, look, I know a few Jets fans, and they've always told me they're cursed. They went from having Trevor Lawrence on a silver platter. Thank you again, Frank Gore. I will thank Frank Gore every day of Trevor Lawrence's career for getting that first down to beat the Rams on December 20th, 2020. Again, thank you, Frank Gore. The Jets had Trevor Lawrence, won a meaningless game. End up with Zach Wilson. He's terrible. But now all's right with the world. They get Aaron Rodgers. Another year, maybe 2 years. He lasts 4 plays and gets carted into the locker room. He's got a walking boot. Don't know the severity yet, but good heavens. All right, NFL news and notes on Hacker After Dark. Looking around the National Football League, the AFC South lived up to the preseason reputation. It's going to be a bad division. The Jaguars are clearly the best team in a bad division. Jacksonville beats Indianapolis yesterday. Good win on the road. Tennessee, terrible on offense. Just terrible. Does not score a touchdown. 5 field goals in a 16-15 loss to New Orleans. Ryan Tannehill throws 3 interceptions, no touchdowns. Titans at 0-1. Houston goes to Baltimore. C.J. Stroud's debut in the NFL. Again, leaves a lot to be desired. You knew going in, right? It was going to be a tough putt beating Baltimore. It certainly was. The Ravens don't have any problems with Houston, although Baltimore did lose some guys to injury, including J.K. Dobbins, their tailback, who's likely done for the year. I don't think official word has come on that, but the thought was it was a pretty severe injury for J.K. Dobbins. So Baltimore got the win, but they did lose some guys. Houston 0-1, Tennessee 0-1, Indianapolis 0-1. Of course, the Jaguars sitting pretty right now at 1-0, the only team to win yesterday in the division. Other big storyline, Cincinnati, I don't know what that was. I have no idea what that was. That was awful. Joe Burrow gets paid on Friday night, and Look, Burrow won't perform like that very often. That Bengal offense was terrible. Cleveland all over Cincinnati. So just like we all thought, Kansas City loses in week 1. Cincinnati loses in week 1. Aaron Rodgers gets injured. As we all predicted in the AFC, the NFL is the best reality show going. Week in and week out, it is simply the best reality show going. Let's talk more National Football League. Let's look at Jacksonville and Indianapolis. Let's also look ahead to Jacksonville and Kansas City. We'll do that with Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated and the Monday Morning Quarterback Podcast. He's next on a Monday night edition of Hacker After Dark with Dylan Denmark, the Hacker Ryan Green with you here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
On the field, he brought the boom.
I'll always be a linebacker at heart.
He brings that attitude to the microphone.
I'm Jaguars Today's middle linebacker, Kyle McMahon.
Friday from 10 to noon. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
Attention car buyers, are you noticing markups on vehicles on dealer lots? Well, come to Key Buick GMC, where we never have markups on our vehicles. Ask for Derek or Brian, where we have fair value pricing, no additional markups, as well as the only Buick GMC dealer with a lifetime powertrain warranty on all new Buicks and GMCs. That's only at Key Buick GMC. We are professional grade across from Tinseltown on the corner of South Side and Gate, or go to our website, keybuickgmc.com.
Hey folks, you know you want Shark Coatings, and the time is now. So close your eyes and let's imagine your garage. Wait, if you're driving, please don't close your eyes. Just wait till you get home. The rest of you see those cracks, the stains? It looks dark, dull, and dreary. It's nothing you're proud of. It's your house junk drawer. Now, see your floor with Shark Coatings. It's bright, it's durable, it's fresh. Since it's non-porous, it will be so much easier to clean. Don't imagine your garage, driveway, porch, or pool deck this way. Get with Shark Coatings and have a brand new space with new possibilities.
Budweiser reminds us to drink wiser, like hydrating between beers. It keeps the fun going longer, and it's a commitment to responsibility. Remember, good times are ahead, so no need to overdo it. Know when to say when, and always designate a driver.
At ABBQ, they are turning up the heat this football season like no other. Picture this, 15 massive TVs strategically placed throughout the restaurant so you won't miss a single touchdown. Step into their huge outdoor area where the excitement of the game meets the fresh air. Here's the kicker, and this is a big one for me. They got the sound on blast throughout the restaurant for the whole game. Your destination for mouth-watering barbecue and an unforgettable game day. ABBQ, meet and drink with us.
Follow every Gators game on 1010XL. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Windows and Doors, the official window and door replacement company of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Jaguars football is officially back. Wow! Be there for our highly anticipated 2023 home opener Sunday, September 17th, when your AFC South champs take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Kickoff is at 1, so be sure to grab your gear and help us teal out the stands. Lock in your seats now at jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you back at the bank.
Hey, Jags fans, are you tired of roof leaks raining on your parade? Don't worry, Universal Roof and Contracting has got you covered. Their expert team of roofers will get your roof back in the game so you can focus on cheering on the Jags. Locally owned and operated, they've serviced Florida homeowners for over 30 years. Visit universalroof.com to schedule your free estimate today. Universal Roof and Contracting, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CCC 1330747, CBC 1258484.
Matt Hayes here. Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this football season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play double fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of statistics, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and an enormous selection of players and stat options are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million football fans who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/1010XL and use the code 1010XL. That's code 1010XL at prizepicks.com/1010XL for a first deposit match to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
Men suffering from ED or PE, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. You'll even get a gift that enhances performance in the bedroom. Call 904-664-8217.
Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Your musculoskeletal system carries the body, meaning that it maintains the structure against gravity. If you want your joints to stay healthy and seek the simplest solution, the best answer is to lose weight. Don't forget, the more weight you put onto your joints, the more pressure and stress there is on your hips and knees. This translates to more pain if you're already having issues. Losing weight is the quickest way to alleviate joint pain and boost your joint health. Go Jags.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Chiefs, Sunday at 1 o'clock, the home opener. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on your home of the Jacksonville Jaguars, 1010XL. Let's recap Week 1. Let's look ahead to a big one at Everbank Stadium in Week 2, and let's do that with Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated. He's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Matt, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Matt, we're good. All right, the Jaguars, the only team in the AFC South to get a victory in Week 1. They are 1-0. Your thoughts, observations on the Jaguars' win over the Colts last Sunday?
Yeah, look, I think, Ridley played really well, obviously coming off of a very lengthy suspension. He went out and was Jacksonville's best offensive weapon. I think, you look at Lawrence, and I think for the most part he played well. He had a couple of real highlights. I know there was that weird, it's kind of like strip sack, I guess you'd call it. And, they run it back on a delayed reaction and made the game tight there for a while. I thought, though, offensively, other than the turnovers, Jacksonville – really good, really solid on offense. Defensively, it's hard to get a real gauge when you're playing the Colts because the Colts just don't have a lot of talent on offense. But I think there's some things Jacksonville could clean up on defense. Overall, though, look, it's a division win. It's Week 1, ton of weird results. The Jags avoided an upset, and they should be pretty happy about it.
No, I agree. And look, you and I talked this offseason about, Ridley and Kirk and Jones and Ingram and Etienne, and you can't stop them all. Well, it was clear, Matt, and watching the All-22 and looking at, social media this morning, that the Colts schemed to take away Christian Kirk, and they did a good job of that. Kirk only had one catch for 9 yards, and then they changed some things at halftime to take away Ridley. But then you can't stop everybody because then Zay Jones and Evan Ingram had big second halves. So, coordinators who play the Jaguars are going to kind of have to pick their poison, are they not?
Yeah, I think, look, if you're on defense, you have to do it. Any team has to do against a good to great quarterback. You have to be able to pressure them 4 guys. That's it. That's how you stop great quarterbacks. And, the Colts, it's not a great pass rush. Better inside than outside, really. Their interior rush is better with Buckner and Stewart inside. That's going to be the challenge for Kansas City this week. The Chiefs have good corners. McDuffie is terrific. Snead is very solid. They have a couple other young guys in Williams and Watson who can play outside. The Chiefs are going to trust their corners in this game to hold up. They need to get home with a front four right now that is not their typical front four. Chris Jones is holding out. Charles Menahoe is suspended. They did a decent job against a very good Lions front. They're going to have to replicate that against Jacksonville.
Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated here with us on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Matt, you mentioned the front four. Well, the Jaguars with Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker certainly got to Anthony Richardson in week number 1. Look, that was the question, right? Can the Jaguars get to the opposing quarterback? Well, they got to Richardson 4 times. They hit him a bunch more. It was a good day at the office, right, for the Jaguar front seven?
It was. Look, the Colts are a team that last year gave up the second most sacks in the NFL. Only Denver gave up more. And if you're Jacksonville, you have to punish a team like that. And they did. Richardson's a young guy, obviously making his first career start. And so, you want to speed the game up on him. You want to be able to kind of, fly in his face and make it difficult. I thought Jacksonville did a really nice job of that. Now, this week they play a Chiefs team that's one of the Chiefs' biggest strengths up front. I mean, they are a very, very good offensive line. Obviously, Juwan Taylor making his homecoming. The Chiefs' strength above all is the interior of their line, but the tackles even are good. That's going to be an interesting challenge. But so far, if you're the Jags, you feel really good about the way they look week one.
I want to talk about the rest of the AFC South, but clearly there's a big one here in Jacksonville, as you mentioned, with Kansas City rolling in for the Jaguar home opener. And it's a heck of an opportunity for the Jaguars. I'm never one that looks too far ahead, but let's be honest. The Chiefs lost last week, a Jaguars win. All right, if Jacksonville finds a way on Sunday to beat Kansas City, Matt, the Jaguars are basically 3 games up, right? 2 in the win-loss column, right, and a tiebreaker. So it's a big opportunity for the Jaguars.
It is. It is a big opportunity. Look, if you're Jacksonville and you want to be, a 1 seed, you want to get that home field. I mean, this is an enormous game because, as you mentioned, you win the game, you're essentially 3 up. You lose a game, you're essentially 1 back. I mean, it's that big of a swing. It's crazy, but it is. And listen, this is the right time to catch the Chiefs. Kelsey, it looks like he'll play, but he's still working back from that bone bruise. Jones, it's unclear at this point, but there's no indication that they've broken through on talks. And so, and Amena, who's suspended. So if you're Jacksonville, you're looking at this going, this is great. And Jacksonville, of course, has their own issues on the offensive line right now, and we understand that. But yeah, this is a big opportunity. But the nice part of it is, if you're Jacksonville, because you weren't one of these teams that got upset in week 1 like the Chiefs were, if you lose, it's not a disaster. If you win, it's great. So you kind of have the best of both worlds. Where for Kansas City, look, I'm not going to say they have to win. I mean, the Chiefs could certainly start 0-2 and win the Super Bowl. But if you're them, there's a little bit of urgency in this game to get yourself right.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine, too. I think Kelsey will come back. And, look, by no means am I a trained medical professional. I've had a couple of doctors, orthopedic guys on some of my shows here on 1010XL. And bone bruises are funky. They're weird. It might be just a pain tolerance issue, right? I mean, Kelsey's going to play, and it's going to hurt. I mean, I don't know what you can do to numb that up or whatever beforehand, but it's going to be a situation where, all right, where you're out there, you're going to make it happen, but you're going to be in some pain for a majority of the game.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even be totally shocked if the Chiefs try to incorporate him on some snaps and maybe give him a break on others. Because, look, the other thing they could do, and I don't know that they would do this, but they play the Bears in week 3 at home. I could also see the Chiefs saying, you know what, let's get them as much as we can in week 2 because it's an important game in Jacksonville. And then they should be able to beat the Bears by 20 points with or without Travis Kelce. So, I mean, maybe there's a world there, too, where they go, look, we could always ease off of him next week and give them a couple weeks before they go play the Jets week 4. But yeah, it's an interesting game. It really is. I mean, you look at it and go, okay, well, Jacksonville defensively is going to get tested in this game. The Chiefs are going to come out, and they are going to have a lot of vim and vigor to them after the way week 1 went. And on the other side of it, Chris Jones, can Jacksonville make them feel that absence should he not be there again? This is a better offense in Detroit. Detroit's good, but Goff is not Lawrence. And Jacksonville has more playmakers. The big question for me on Jacksonville's side of the coin is, can they block? That's going to, Sharef can't go. Obviously, Robinson was a suspension. That's going to be the big, with Spagnuolo, they're going to bring pressure. They're just going to do it, and they're going to trust their corners. Last year, when the 2 teams played in both games, Jacksonville's offense had some nice moments. Also struggled at times. They're going to go to the tape. They're going to do their homework there. So it's interesting. It'll be a very interesting game. See how it plays out.
Final moments here with Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated. All right, Matt, let's look around the South. You mentioned the Chargers. They go to Nashville to play the Tennessee Titans this upcoming Sunday. 2 teams in desperate need of wins. Watching Titan Twitter yesterday, or X, whatever it's called now, boy, they were all up in arms about Tannehill. It was not good for Ryan Tannehill at the Superdome against New Orleans. And based on his stat line, Matt, he's the reason they lost the game, right?
He was not good. I mean, 3 picks, and it was ugly. I mean, it could have even been more than that, frankly. I will say that, the one thing about Tennessee that I think, even if you're not, if you don't like the Titans, you're maybe a Jaguars fan, you're against them. Like, the one thing you have to admit, they're well coached. Like, that team, if I know anything about the Titans, they're going to look at the Chargers and go, you know what? We're going to run the ball 40 times in this game. And they are, I don't mind saying it early, they're my pick of the week, my upset pick of the week. I think they're going to earhole LA in this game.
Wow.
I don't trust. The Chargers are horribly coached. They're horribly coached. They lose 4 or 5 games every year because they make dumb mistakes, which, by the way, yesterday was one of them. And I just have a feeling in this game, I don't think the Titans are a very good team. I think the Titans are like 500 games. I think the Jags are going to win that division by about 4 games. But that is the kind of game where I could just see Vrabel simplifying the game and Staley making 2 or 3 big mistakes, and the Titans go out and win. I have no faith in the Chargers in any kind of a big spot.
Matt, the rest of the division, C.J. Stroud in Houston, Anthony Richardson, we saw him here against the Jaguars yesterday. Anything about those rookie quarterbacks stand out to you after Sunday?
Yeah, listen, I liked Richardson. He showed why he was a top pick. He's got a lot of ability in terms of his athleticism, and he's got some poise. I think he's going to have to learn to maybe get down occasionally when he runs, even as big as he is. But I thought he played well. I mean, he wasn't spectacular, but he certainly wasn't why they lost. I thought he did a pretty good job. C.J. Stroud, it's tough because he was under siege all day. I don't have the number in front of me. I think he was sacked 5 times. Baltimore hit him relentlessly in the game. That's a tough spot. You're on the road. You're first start, and you're just running for your life. I didn't think he was terrible. I thought, look, of all the 3 rookie quarterbacks, I would rank it Richardson and then Stroud and Young. Young was rough. Young had a very tough day in Atlanta. I thought Stroud was okay. I thought Richardson was good. He just didn't have a lot of help around him.
The crazy thing about the AFC is you and I, again, all offseason, right, Kansas City, Cincinnati, we talked about how great Pittsburgh was, at least in the preseason. What a weird week 1, right? We don't know what's going to happen tonight with the Bills and the Jets. That game is going on right now. But clearly with Kansas City at 0-1, Cincinnati at 0-1, Pittsburgh proved the preseason means absolutely nothing. How would you assess what we saw in week 1 in the AFC?
Bizarre, weird, but, I think week 1 tends to be that way. And the Bengals last year started out with 2 losses to Trubisky and Cooper Rush. Like, it's weird. I mean, Jacksonville the first half of the year wasn't good. Now, Jacksonville, of course, had to kind of dig out from all the Urban Meyer stuff. But, sometimes early on, I know this sounds maybe like an odd thing to say. I almost look at teams by like, okay, did you get out of the game healthy? Like, for an example, Baltimore won, right? They beat Houston. They did what they're supposed to do. They got ravaged by injuries. I'd rather be Kansas City or Cincinnati than Baltimore this morning, right? I think if you're the Chiefs, if you're the Bengals, you're walking out of those games going, okay, that was not great, especially the Bengals. This is a boat race. But, like, you're going, okay, look, everybody's healthy. We'll figure it out. We know we have the talent. We'll get it right. We'll be fine. If you're the Ravens, yeah, sure, you're 1-0. You just lost 2 starters potentially for the year, and you lost 2 of your offensive linemen for weeks at a shot. Like, I think so in some ways, yeah, sure, you're 1-0, but you're in worse shape than the teams that lost because they at least got out of it healthy. And with teams like that, they're going to figure it out. They're too talented. They're going to win their 12, 13 games. They just are.
And, Matt, as we say goodbye, the NFC was almost as weird, right? Now, again, the Giants were a playoff team, but I don't think a lot was expected of them, but nobody expected 40-0 last night. Good grief. Tampa Bay with Baker Mayfield goes into Minneapolis to beat the Vikings. Green Bay destroys Chicago. I mean, it was kind of a weird day in the NFC, too.
Yeah, I mean, everybody looked at these teams and they made the playoffs last year and said, hey, the Giants were a surprise. I don't know if the Vikings were a surprise, but they were surprised to go 13-4. Seattle was a big shock. Well, Seattle was terrible offensively, couldn't do anything. Minnesota actually played halfway decently defensively yesterday, but it didn't matter. They couldn't score enough to win the game. Cousins has 3 turnovers. And then the Giants, I mean, they didn't bother to show up. And, not that it was really a marquee game. The Cardinals somehow almost won in Washington. Like, we're really in that game with 2 minutes to go. But, yeah, I think, again, you look at these teams. The Eagles didn't play particularly well. They find a way to win. They get a pick 6 from Slay. the Niners and the Cowboys certainly very impressive, and were two teams that were expected to be coming in. So, look, I think it makes for week one makes for fun headlines. Like the Raiders are all atop the AFC West by themselves. I mean, there's this weird stuff like that. But do I think that it should change anybody's opinion coming into the year? No, not really. I mean, I think in the end, in the AFC, you're still going to have all the big powers there at the end. And in the NFC, you're probably going to have Philly and Dallas and San Francisco, and that's how it's going to shape.
Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated. Matt, tell the good folks here in Jacksonville getting ready for the Jags, Chiefs, and all the big action in Week 2, what they can expect over at SI.com.
Yeah, I've got a column that goes out during the games on Sunday every week over at SI.com. You can check out its observations, reactions, kind of what it means going forward, not just a simple recap of the game. And then I got a stock watch, stock up, stock down for rookies going out tomorrow. Just finished writing it. Got quarterback rankings that go out later on in the week. I'll break down a few plays on all 22 and kind of break down what we saw out of week one that was interesting. So there's quite a bit. There will be quite a bit. And also you can check out and please subscribe to the MMQB podcast. I am on there every single week.
It's a great time of year. There's no question about that. Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated and the MMQB podcast. Matt, know you're busy, brother. Appreciate the time. We'll talk again soon.
Sounds good. Take care.
This just in on Hacker After Dark.
Thank you to Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated. I did that interview, obviously, a little earlier on. The big news of the NFL tonight is the injury to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers went out with what looked to be an ankle injury. That's what the Jets said it was. He was questionable to come back in. He has now been officially listed as out. So he is done for the night. Aaron Rodgers played 4 plays tonight on Monday Night Football. I don't mean to laugh. It's not funny, especially if you're a Jets fan. You got to be sick to your stomach. 4 plays. He was 0 of 1 passing. All the hype, all the buildup. He went down when Leonard Floyd of the Buffalo Bills hit him. His foot got caught in the turf at MetLife Stadium. That turf at MetLife Stadium sucks. All right? We know about it firsthand with DeJuan Smoot here in Jacksonville. People have complained about MetLife Stadium's field surface for a long time. That'll be a topic for another day. There's a lot of people on Twitter that are throwing things out there. The only thing that we know for sure is that Rodgers is out for the rest of the game. And according to Mike Garafolo of the NFL Network, he was seen in a walking boot leaving the x-ray room and going back to the Jets locker room. Zach Wilson is in for the Jets. He has just been picked off by Matt Milano. Josh Allen has hit Stephon Diggs for a touchdown. Buffalo leads the New York Jets 10-3. 3 minutes to go in the first half, and the Bills have the ball at midfield on what could be a very interesting night. We're waiting for word on severity of the injury to Aaron Rodgers, but we know he is out the rest of the game, and Zach Wilson is in for the New York Jets. Coming up in less than 10 minutes, former Florida Gator, All-American tight end Ben Troop, as we have Florida and Tennessee. Yeah, Florida and Tennessee. Saturday night, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. We'll talk a little college ball in just a bit. With Dylan Denmark, the Hacker Ryan Green with you. Jacksonville, we're glad you're with us. Right here on Hacker After Dark, 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
From Duval to the world,
all communication lines are clear.
Download the 1010XL apps for free on Apple and Android devices and listen wherever life takes you.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Attention homeowners, is it time to get your septic tank pumped out? Don't wait until it's too late. At Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic, our experienced technicians use the latest equipment to pump out your tank safely and efficiently, ensuring that your septic system is running smoothly. Neglecting your septic tank can lead to costly repairs and even health hazards. So call Duck Duck Rooter and schedule your septic tank pumping. Call now, 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Craving a night out? Elevate your evenings at Players Grill. Sip on handcrafted cocktails and groove to live beats. Players Grill, where every moment is a toast to life. Join us tonight at Miramar or Mandarin. Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
The annual Knights of Columbus Hold'em for Life poker tournament is September 23rd at Blessed Trinity Parish Hall. All profits go to the Women's Help Center, supporting women in need, especially expectant mothers. To play or sponsor, call 868-8837.
You can be part of a fishing tournament with a real local impact. The Triple Challenge Fishing Tournament, Party, and Silent Auction benefits Young Life in the Beaches community. Learn more at JacksonvilleBeachesYoungLife.org.
To learn more about the Jericho School Golf Tournament and Silent Auction at Blue Sky Golf Club October 21st, visit thejerichoschool.org.
Make a difference on the golf course, playing one of the best tournaments and help make Jacksonville a safer place to live and raise our families. The First Coast Crime Stoppers Golf Tournament is October 23rd at Amelia River Club. Call 398-5883.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com.
I'm Hacker. Get more Gators on the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists with new episodes every Wednesday. Subscribe and listen by searching for 1010XL Florida Gator Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or TuneIn.
Denny Thompson here. Are you a home builder looking for a reliable low-voltage partner? Look no further than Tyson Sound and Security. They've been working hard with large and small builders for 15 years. Here's why they are the top choice. They will enhance your home buyer's home experience by offering custom home design appointments, and your budget stays intact while they deliver top quality services. Builders, send your plans over today to bid. Tyson Sound and Security, security and home automation experts.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Hey sports fans, it's Hayes Carline for QC Kinetics, and look, I can't make it any simpler. QC Kinetics can change your life. You can live again without that chronic joint pain and without drugs or surgery. You've got to reach out for a free consultation at 904-274-5522 and make an appointment at one of their branches, Mandarin or Ponte Vedra. QC Kinetics is advanced regenerative medicine. They take your body's own concentrated healing properties and put them right into your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue that's causing all of that horrible pain. The patient satisfaction reports are astonishing. Finally, there is a real alternative to the old ways of dealing with pain. And unlike surgery, there's no downtime with QC treatments. If you have constant pain in your knees, hips, shoulder, or back, you need to call and get a free consultation from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics. 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Everybody's being a doctor on social media right now. My advice is let's just wait till official word. We do know Aaron Rodgers is out for the rest of the game. He was carted to the locker room, was seen in a walking boot. 4 plays into his New York Jet career, officially 0 for 1, 0 passing yards for Aaron Rodgers. Zach Wilson is in. He's already thrown a pick. Buffalo up 10-3, 45 seconds to go in the first half. They have the ball at the New York Jets 20, so barring a turnover, they will at least add, you would think, a field goal, if not an additional touchdown. So more on that, more on the Jaguars, a lot more NFL to come. But we got a big one. Gator fans, we got a big one on Saturday down at Florida Field. Tennessee, Florida, 7 o'clock Saturday night. You'll hear the game right here on 1010XL Radio. An All-American that played at the University of Florida is my friend Ben Troop. He was a terrific tight end for the Gators. He now has the 84 Reasons podcast. Love talking Florida and SEC for that matter with Ben Troop. Boy, the SEC's taking it on the chin the last 2 weeks. It has not been good for the SEC. It just means more, and yeah, it's just meant more losses early on here in the world of college football. So let's talk Florida, let's talk Tennessee, and let's talk SEC struggles with Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop. That's next. Monday night edition of Hacker After Dark, and we're glad you're with us right here. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
11 men work together for one common goal, but inevitably there is one offensive player of the game.
He is a difference maker now.
Listen for the Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game.
That's how you finish right there.
On 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey everyone, it's football season and we wanted to go to the drawing board to make this year's predictions. Let's compare our 2 long-haired blonde all-stars. Most touchdowns, best pricing in the market, most passing yards, pays the most for your trade, most receptions, free oil changes with every purchase, Super Bowl champion, wow, customer service. I think we can make all this happen. Come see Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, where you can score big all season long.
Men suffering from ED or PE, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. You'll even get a gift that enhances performance in the bedroom. Call 904-664-8217.
So I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $30,000 a year and right now graduate making over $80,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition and no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted into the program, your only costs are the books and the course fees, around $700 a year.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org.
Apply by May 18th.
At Andy's Automotive and Truck Services, they know that your company's fleet is more than just a bunch of cars and trucks. It's your livelihood, your reputation, your pride. So when you need routine fleet maintenance or emergency repairs, Andy's offers after-hours and mobile service to minimize your downtime and keep your fleet running like new. While you care for your employees and customers, rest assured Andy's Automotive will take care of your fleet. Visit the team at andysats.com.
If you are a fan of the U, listen for the Performance Painting Hurricane Report.
I'm JJ LaSelva, and I bring you news and notes you need to know from Miami every week on the Hurricane Report.
On 1010XL, Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve. Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician, Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Rotator cuff tears are the most common overhead injuries I see. In order to avoid shoulder issues, make sure not to overload the front of the shoulder while also focusing on developing good scapular strength and maintaining flexibility in your lats. Proper hydration, nutrition, and supplementation are also crucial to joint and muscle health. Go Jag.
XL will be live from Racetrack on Pritchard Road, Thursday, noon to 3 with XL Primetime. Show your CDL to win Racetrack gift cards worth up to $500. Thursday, noon to 3 from Racetrack on Pritchard Road. Racetrack, whatever gets you going.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff. 1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line. It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Florida and Tennessee, Saturday night, 7 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. It is a big one for Billy Napier and the Florida Gators, and you would have to imagine the swamp down in Gainesville will be rocking. Let's talk to a man that knows all about the Florida-Tennessee rivalry and playing in big games down at Florida Field. My friend Ben Troop was an All-American at the University of Florida, and he's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Ben, how you doing?
Always a good time to be with you, Ryan. Looking forward for this another night game in the swamp 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, look, I mean, let's spin briefly. I mean, McNeese State was what it was, right? It was a paycheck game for them, but Florida came out, did exactly what they needed to do, and had absolutely no problems.
Yeah, I think the thing about last week, Ryan, was it was one of those things to where the first week kind of got away from me. You know, as a former player, confidence is huge when it comes to sports, none bigger than football. I think what Florida was able to do was say, we got to get back to our identity, which is running the football. And, you know, Johnson and Eaton, those guys, they was able to do it. Grant, you know, Mertz didn't have the same game throwing the football that he did in week one. But it shows you that no matter who Florida's playing, whenever they can give a healthy dose of the run game, it just proves it makes everything easier. I don't think people talk enough about Ricky Pearsall and what he is as a receiver. I know he come over from Arizona State. The guy can run a lot of routes. I think got a big one, you know, this Saturday night with the Tennessee squad coming in with Joe Milton and company, very, very confident. But that confidence booster that Billy Napier needed, O coordinator, D coordinator, the whole squad needed, I think they got it. Because when it comes to football is, no matter what, you got to make McNeese State look like a lesser opponent. We respect them, but you got to make them. Had that game would have been 35-21 or something close, who knows what that does to the psyche of these guys. But they was able – I almost had a shutout, and those backups got in and kind of, you know, made some mistakes. But I like the way, you know, they was able to go out there and handle business. And obviously the new thing now is these LED lights or whatever you want to call it. Whatever gets these people in the stands, we'll take.
Yeah, and gets the recruits in. There's no doubt about that. Ben, look, a lot of us media fans alike did not know what to expect from Graham Mertz. We've seen him now for 2 games. What's your opinion on him?
Very, very poised. I think the thing about Graham Mertz is, listen, when you come from a big-time university over to Florida, you understand what college football is. Like, people think the levels of college football are not the same, but it is still college football. And people forget when Graham Mertz came out, I mean, he had Dabo Swinney, he had Nick Saban, he had Kirby Smart. These big time, these guys really wanted him to come there, but he's looking at a chance to play early. But I think that Billy Napier understood who he was, even when back when Billy Napier was at Louisiana, to be able to get a guy like Mercer. I like his poise. I like the fact that he's very, very sure in his decision making. I know the competition is ramping up starting this Saturday, but doesn't turn the ball over a lot, makes good decisions with the football. Now I get to see the blend, though. Now that you know what you have in the running game, now that you kind of see that he can, I think he broke a record his first game, most passing yards, I think, ever in his college career, his first game. Now can you put both of them together? Because it's going to take a heroic effort to beat them Vols this year.
Ben Troop was an All-American tight end at the University of Florida, and he's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Ben, the team is so young at so many positions, but it's obvious they got something with Wilson, the wide receiver. He looks like a stud. We know how good Trevor Etienne is, only in his second year. I think that's what Gator fans need to realize, Ben, is how young this team is. They're going to grow and get better, hopefully, as the season goes along.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I mean, Wilson is a guy that's definitely, I don't like these comparisons of, he has a little Percy Harvin in him. I don't think that's fair to players, because you're talking about a guy in person who had no flaws in his game. But to be able to play when you a freshman means I'm coming in ready. Etienne obviously got that last name, brother right there 45 minutes up the road, and what he's doing, for the Jaguars. But when he signed with Florida last year, showed that he was ready. Shamar James, a guy that's really, really young, doing a lot of great things at the linebacker position, starting a true freshman, at safety, guys moving on to the transfer portal because they see if I'm a senior and the young guy starts, I don't see much room for playing time. But you want them to grow week in and week out. You kind of want them to go through the growing pains, because you don't want things to come easy early, because they assume that's how, not just college football, but life is. No, you want them to deal with the bumps and the bruises. That way, when it is the fourth quarter, and it's going to come down to who's mentally ready. The whole, in the words of Michael Irvin, we run to what everybody else runs from. I like these young guys playing. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with Wilson. He is lightning in the bottle, man. I mean, he really, really is. I want to see how they use him, because when a player has all this hype and it doesn't necessarily show up all the time in the box score, you don't want that to affect his confidence. Listen, you're going to learn a lot about these Gators and some of these young guys come Saturday, because, like I said, that team with that creamsicle orange, they coming down to Florida, and they're trying to do something they haven't done in a long time, and that's get a big win at the Swamp.
Yeah, I want to say it's been like 16 years or so since Tennessee won in Gainesville. Ben, I want to focus on that game in a moment, but quickly to the offensive line, right? They struggled mightily against Utah. Last week they dominated against a 1AA opponent, as they should have. But now the big boys are back. Now the Tennessee Volunteers are rolling in. How concerned are you about that Gator O-line going into Saturday?
I do have my concerns, but I think that's a litmus test, right? You don't get a chance to hide. I mean, getting back to the old days when Tennessee was on the schedule third game of the year, far back from when I played. You want that, because no one knows who you really are, right? First game is first game jitters. Second game, you hope you make a giant leap. Third game, okay, we kind of see what we are. Let's start putting that identity together. You can't hide. I know people talk about injuries. The biggest injury with Florida right now is Kingsley. I mean, the center, because he's the smartest O-lineman we have. He's the guy that get guys lined up, getting the protection going. If he can't go on Saturday, which I'm gonna have to look at that injury report, it's gonna be hard for us to kind of do things you want to do, but no excuses. You don't come to the University of Florida because you don't because you fear competition. They're gonna have to run the ball. If Florida cannot run the ball, it's gonna be a long day, but I think they're gonna be able to run it. It's gonna 2-yard runs, 3-yard runs, hopefully become 6 and 7 as the game goes on. But this Tennessee D-line, man, they're really, really good. They're coming in with a lot of momentum, trying to go back-to-back wins, which haven't happened a long time in Tennessee. Our O-line is a concern, but they're gonna have to find some answers in a hurry.
Ben, you mentioned Shamar James, and I'll bring up Scooby Williams as well with this. I haven't seen linebackers like that at the University of Florida for a little bit now. I mean, these guys are young, they're hungry, they're flying around, and I got to tell you, this Austin Armstrong guy that came in, 29 years old, he's now 30, the defensive coordinator, I didn't know what to make of that hire. Again, the sample size is very small, but they did not lose the Utah game because of the defense. And they played very well last week against a 1AA opponent. I am unbelievably curious how that defense is going to look against Joe Milton, because I think they might have something with some of these young guys on the defensive side of the ball.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, Scooby has that closing speed. Shamar James is the sideline to sideline, because that was going to be a big concern, with what we lost, last year, as far as like what we're trying to replace this year. But I think Coach Armstrong, he's old enough, to go sit down, with the, at the big boy table with other coaches, but he's young enough, to really, really understand these players. And when he said we're going to negotiate with a hammer, I could live with that every single day. And he understands how to get the best out of players. It seems like his play calling is getting more simplified, because sometimes the play calling, it be so intricate. That's why if you see that linebacker looking to the sideline, he's getting that play call in late. The quicker you get it into him, quicker those guys get lined up, the quicker they can make adjustments. But you got two heat-seeking missiles at the linebacker position for Florida right now. Obviously, Shamar James coming off an injury. Scooby shows you, what he can do as far as blitzing. And I'm really looking forward to see how those guys gel together. I go back to a Tennessee game back in 1999. A guy by the name of Alex Brown. He introduced himself to the world with not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 sacks against this Tennessee team. I think that Tennessee gives a chance to really show, because everybody's going to be watching. Everybody get to see what we have at the linebacker position. I like those guys. Shamar James is a guy I've been blessed enough to interview on my podcast, 84 Reasons. I mean, a guy coming from Alabama who understands, I want to come to Florida, man, because obviously, the Alabamas and the Auburn's wanted that guy. I like what he did. What he did against Utah was incredible. And like you said, Coach Armstrong has been a plus, not a minus. He is not the reason why we lost against Utah. He's going to have to be a big reason why we win come Saturday.
Final moments with former Florida Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop, who's with us here on 1010XL, the Gators and the Volunteers, Saturday night at 7 o'clock. Ben, in your opinion, how important is this game for Billy Napier?
It's huge. And we going to say that a lot throughout the course of the season, Ryan. He hasn't given himself a lot of wiggle room. I mean, you beat Utah opening, first game at Florida last year. You come back minus Cam Rising, and you lose in a very, very ugly loss. Even though you had a chance to win it, you come back and beat a good, beat a very, very respectful, McNeese team. He's gonna have to show that he's built for this, and that's the job now, right? It's like week in and week out, your resume is on the line. I mean, Nick Saban loses to Texas, the people think the dynasty is though. It's crazy when it comes to college football. It's a what have you done for me lately? Update your resume type league. And Billy Napier, I do think he's built for it. I hope that Florida gives him the same patience that Michigan, gave Harbaugh. I don't see it happening, because I think he's building a monster. But you got to go out there and show Joe Milton why. Just because y'all was able to get a big dub last year and he's a starter now, Florida got to be able to get back to his dominance and utilizing the swamp, and the crowd. I think Tennessee is going to be I don't care how you get it done. You got to find a way to get it done, because it shows the world that you're here to stay, and it shows Tennessee that while y'all had a great season last year ain't this year.
In my entire life, or at least going back as far as I can remember, Ben, which is 1990, which is really the first recollection I have of Gator football, as sure as the sun will rise, Florida will play Tennessee during the season. Normally in September. Obviously, there was the one December game with 9/11, and obviously the anniversary of that tragic day is today, which we all remember and will never forget. But when it comes back to college football, I mean, the Gators and the Volunteers play every year. We remember the rivalry. You can't spell citrus without UT. You were in some great Florida-Tennessee games. But with the new SEC expansion coming, this is not going to be an every-year occurrence anymore. They're still going to play frequently, but it won't be every year. So kind of a changing of the guard after Saturday night when it comes to this great rivalry.
Yeah, it is, and I'm gonna be sad to see it go. Unfortunately, I was in 9/11 was my sophomore year, so I was in that December game back in back in 2001, and like I said, we'll never ever forget. Our hearts and prayers goes out to the many that was lost. But when you think about this, Tennessee and Florida is special. And I know we hear that throughout the SEC, but it really, really is. I think when they go into the pod system, it's probably going to be Florida and Georgia going to be tied to the hip for life. They're not going to let that rivalry go away. But Tennessee is a very, very special rivalry. When it used to come down to whoever won the third game of the year out of Florida, Tennessee, really was in the driver's seat to win the East and go to Atlanta. But it has been some great games over the years. And even though Florida has been on the winning side a lot, those games really came down to the wire a lot of the times. And I'm really going to, cherish these moments now because, like you say, Ryan, we never thought that we would see these things go. But then again, we also didn't see Texas A&M and Mizzou coming to the SEC. Now you're going to have Oklahoma and Texas coming. So we're going to be able to look back and tell our kids, I remember when the SEC was this. And these were the rivals here. Going to develop some new rivalries, but I still will put that Florida-Tennessee rivalry up against any SEC rivalry throughout the SEC.
Hey, Ben, as we wrap up, look, it's not been a good start to the year for the Southeastern Conference. Utah beat Florida. North Carolina beat South Carolina. Obviously, Texas beats Alabama. Florida State beats LSU. I mean, it just means more, right? We're all SEC diehards, me and the media, you as a former player. But there's no doubt that they're struggling out of the gate here. What's your thought on that?
I think that just shows that, a lot of these conferences around the country get sick of hearing about the SEC. If you Texas, you want to show the SEC, yes, we are built to play y'all, and we're going to beat y'all before we actually come over to the SEC. Florida State, they went ahead and told LSU, yeah, y'all went out there and won the SEC West. We beat y'all 2 years in a row. People get sick of the SEC. They think that the SEC has a monopoly on all TV networks, ESPN being the main culprit. And so when they get a chance to beat the SEC, they're going to make sure viewers and companies sitting in the locker room with the cigars in their mouth, like when Tennessee plays Alabama. LSU was a team that people thought was going to do a lot of things. Norvell and company said, nope, we got ACC championships on our mind. So whenever you get to add no greater resume booster than being an SEC team, especially when it's that of Alabama, when it's that of LSU, when it's that of South Carolina, when it's that of Florida, because these are some of the blue blood. So if you are the SEC, you're going through an identity crisis. You better be lucky it's only week 2. By the time the year comes to an end, I know the Pac-12 is littered right now with top 10 teams. And I know Colorado has everybody talk about it with Shedeur Sanders and Deion Sanders and Travis Hunter and company. The SEC, outside of being the most prestigious conference, doesn't mean you're going to live up to the billing week in and week out.
Florida and Tennessee, Saturday night, 7 o'clock. You'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. Former Florida Gator, All-American tight end Ben Troop. Ben, tell the Gator fans here in Jacksonville about the podcast, where they can find it, and about episodes that are upcoming.
Oh, man, 84 Reasons. You can find it on all, anywhere you get podcasts, you can listen to it. You can also find it on YouTube. A lot of great episodes coming up, man. I got Brandon Seiler. I know he's a super duper star these days, being the star of, Swamp Kings. Got him coming on. Got future episodes coming up. Gonna be looking to have the Pouncey twins on there. Gonna see if I can pull a rabbit out of the hat and maybe even get Lewis Murphy to get old Cam Newton to come on the podcast. We've been having fun with it though. Gonna be going to the Father series. Miles Graham, Father Ernest Graham, who I played, was gonna come on. I'm really looking forward to having more guys on, and Ryan, it's really been a blessing. 84 Reasons, no games, no gimmicks, just reasons. 84 Reasons, former, future, and current Florida Gators. And if you're a mother or father of these kids want to come on, you can do it as well, but really been enjoying it.
Yeah, Ben Troop does a terrific job with that podcast. Again, 84 Reasons. Gator fans, certainly check that out. Ben, appreciate the time, man. Let's watch Saturday. Hopefully it's a good night for your alma mater, and we'll talk again soon, my friend.
Always a pleasure being on with you, Ryan.
Now, today's takeaways, brought to you by Key Buick GMC, where our family dealership has been helping families buy vehicles for over 50 years.
And thank you to my friend, former Florida Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop, for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark. The big takeaways of the evening here on Hacker After Dark. Well, that was one of them, right? The fact that Florida-Tennessee, a game we have known every September for, 30-plus years, will not be the case moving forward, at least every year. It's going to be a change. This is going to be one of the last times, at least on a consistent basis, that we have Florida and Tennessee. Also, another big takeaway is, look, the bottom line is, was it perfect yesterday for the Jaguars? No. There was certainly a lot of things that went wrong. But at the end of the day, the Jaguars won a football game in a stadium they had not won at since 2017. They won by 10 points. It was a division game on the road on opening day. And yet I, like a lot of people here in town, felt there was a lot of flaws, had issues with it. And that goes to show you what happens with expectations, right? The Jaguars have gone from 4-8 on Thanksgiving of 2022 to now the fans and some media are upset about 10-point wins on the road against division rivals. Again, masterclass, as Shad Khan said. Trent Baalke and just getting this roster to where it is, Doug Peterson and coaching these guys, the transformation that this organization has had in the last 9 months is absolutely incredible. Well, that'll just about do it for what has been a very busy Monday night edition of Hacker After Dark here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. Certainly want to thank you guys for hanging out with us this evening. We got a lot of people to thank. Again, Ben Troop, former Florida Gator tight end. You can catch his podcast, 84 Reasons, wherever you listen and subscribe to podcasts. Always love talking Florida football with Ben Troop. And the Gators have a big one Saturday night in Gainesville, 7 o'clock, as the Tennessee Volunteers roll in. Of course, you'll hear that game right here on 1010XL. Thank you to Dave Campo, former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. A little Monday night coaching with Campo. You get Dave Campo every Monday night here on Hacker After Dark as we reviewed the Jaguars and the Colts and certainly looked ahead to a big one on Sunday between the Jaguars and the Kansas City Chiefs. And back in hour number 1, thank you to Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated and the Monday Morning Quarterback Podcast. I got to tell you, I talked to a lot of national guys, and I enjoy talking to all these national guys. Matt Verderam is one of my favorites. Really enjoy talking ball with him, the conversation. He will tell you what he thinks. He doesn't sugarcoat a whole lot, and we're always lucky and thankful to have Matt Verderam on with us here on Hacker After Dark. We'll be back tomorrow night on a Tuesday. Are you kidding me? I mean, Jacksonville, Florida. Let me ask you a question. Where else would you rather be from 10 o'clock to midnight than right here with Dylan Denmark and yours truly on a Tuesday night edition of Hacker After Dark? And we do hope that you join us then. Dylan Denmark was your producer. Tonight, Dylan, great job as always. I'm the Hacker Ryan Green. And again, Jacksonville, thank you for spending part of your Monday evening with us right here on Hacker After Dark on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. So for all of us here on HAD, have an absolutely terrific remainder of your Monday evening, and we will do it all over again tomorrow night on a Tuesday beginning at 10 o'clock. Until then,